All right, let's talk about gossip.
But I don't want to.
Oh, well, we're gonna. Gossip is defined as the inappropriate communication of unflattering, embarrassing, hurtful, or humiliating information about one person to another person, where truth is irrelevant. I remember one really tough Sunday at my home church many, many years ago when our pastor at the time told us that the reason our church was basically splitting at that time about how it all stemmed from gossip about the previous pastor. There was a single mother in the congregation whose car had broken down, so the pastor had temporarily lent his car to her so she could get to work and get her kids around. When someone from the church happened to notice the pastor's car at this woman's house overnight, and the rumors started to spread that the pastor was having an affair with this woman, this whole church split started to begin. By the time the pastor had heard it, the rumor had already spread across the entire church and solidified in many folks' minds as truth. And so when the pastor explained, half the church believed him, half did not. And that was the start of a split in the church that unfortunately didn't come to an end until a few years later, when suddenly the last remaining group of gossipers just stopped coming to the church, which included several deacons. It took several more years for that wound to fully heal and the church to begin to grow into the safe place it is now. But I mean, it's gossip is very detrimental. And we've seen it actually in this church a few times, but not to this degree to where half the church just up and walks out the same Sunday and they're gone.
Yeah.
But think about that. All of that ordeal started because a single person saw something, misinterpreted it, and instead of talking to the pastor directly, they just spread it around to everybody else. A false fact, fake news, destroyed a church for nearly a decade.
So I had to go back and relook at the details.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't want anybody throwing tomatoes at me when they see me next or anything. But I really, as you're telling the story, I'm envisioning a little old lady starting the rumor. And I feel kind of bad about that.
I can't verify that, who was the original person, but I do know that most of the people that left were elderly.
But see, I just envision and I wasn't here. I don't even know if it was Highland.
It was Highland, but it was Highland. 4 pastors ago.
Okay, so I wasn't here when this happened. I know zero about the situation other than the fact that I've heard you talk about it.
And yeah, I was only here for the last 2 years when the final Exodus went down. Yeah. It was basically 2 churches at war with each other the whole time in one building.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just envisioned this little old lady looking out her window one day and seeing the pastor's car at her neighbor's house and going, oh, well, Pastor John is over there with Sally Mae, and I just, oh my goodness, I don't know, what are we going to do about this?
Oh, man. So, I mean, it's easy for us to point fingers at others. But when I really think about it, I know that I too have been guilty of gossip. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't even really realize that we're doing it. For instance, many of us volunteer with Celebrate Recovery. And I've caught myself talking to other people saying things like, gosh, I'm so glad so-and-so is here to hear the message tonight. I know he's been struggling with this issue.
Ooh, man.
And I haven't done that in a long time. But in the first few years, I caught myself doing that. And, what I said came out of a genuine place of concern. I wasn't trying to spread any bad juju magumbo, but I also just broke the trust of that person that had confided in me by telling someone else's struggle.
Yeah. So
that's my place, and I have no idea what this other person will do with that information now. I give that to someone else, and now they have it. So have there been times you've had a problem gossiping yourself, Mo?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You're just going to put me out there. No, I have never gossiped. That is that's the one sin that I am completely blameless of.
I've never heard you gossip.
I know.
Ever.
I would
anybody,
never spew hateful or untrue information about people to someone else. That's just, it's uncalled for. It's unnecessary. I mean, we need to think before we speak. Is it true?
And
Is it helpful?
Frankly, I'm disappointed in you, Matt.
Is it inspiring,
for letting
necessary,
yourself...
and kind? Right, Matt? I'm really glad, though, that you are able to be honest and say that you have struggled with it, because I just didn't really know how to come to you and confront you with that information.
I don't really need to put you on the spot.
No, but honestly, I think that it's one of those... and, okay... This is something that I'm realizing more and more. When I say gossip is second nature, it just kind of comes easy a lot of times to a lot of people. And you don't even, it's not in a malicious way a lot of times.
Right.
It's not in, I want to spew this person's information. I want to smear them in the ground and make them look like a bad person.
Oftentimes it comes in the vein of a prayer request.
It does. It does. But that just kind of shines light on the fact that our nature is sinful.
Yeah.
We are sinful by nature.
Absolutely.
And things that just come easy typically aren't right.
I want to say naughty by nature. We're naughty by nature.
Naughty by nature. So yeah, I do. And there was a period of time at CR when I would introduce myself. I'm Megan, grateful believer in Jesus, who struggles with gossip. Because there was a time where I was realizing... and it wasn't just people telling me things and then me telling them,
right,
or someone else. It was a matter of having to hear that information, wanting to know the information. That is as well.
Oh, like needing to be updated, needing to have all the info.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way too sometimes.
I just want to know.
Like, what's the whole story? What?
Mm-hmm. I did that with you yesterday.
I missed something. What was it?
I did that with you yesterday in a Facebook
Not that I'm being nosy. But
I kind of am.
But what are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
And again, not that I went and I was like, hey, guess what Matt's doing tomorrow? But I needed, and no one can see me, but I'm doing air quotes, needed to know. I even had someone really prick my thoughts once with saying that, People Magazine or that's gossip.
That's all
a form
all
of gossip.
It is. Yeah. Us Weekly and all that junk. It's all about, hey, here's what's going on in the private lives of celebrities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They don't want you to know this stuff, and half of it's not even true.
Yep. Yep. And there was a time where, actually, we were in Italy, so it's been close to a decade now, but when that thought was provoked in me, I had a subscription to those magazines, and I was
You
getting
had a
them.
subscription? It was showing up in your mail.
That's what my mother-in-law would get me for Christmas.
Yeah.
She would get me a subscription to a new magazine every year. And actually, I just got a magazine in the mail the other day, and I looked at Chris, and I was like, we might want to talk to your dad, because they may still be taking money out of his bank account for this subscription to this magazine, since your mom had passed away almost 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah. But I instantly called my mother-in-law and said, you know what? Maybe we should cancel those gossip magazines. And she asked why, and I explained my mindset and, what I had been convicted of. And she thought, oh, I never would have even considered that, but that's so true. And I guess it's just something that people don't...
Yeah, it's permeated our entire subculture of just... This is how we handle things, especially with celebrities. This is how celebrities should expect to be talked about and gossiped about, because they put themselves in the limelight. And like, just come on.
Not
man.
true.
Don't be gross.
Yeah, and that, truthfully, if we're going to say that, if we're going to have that mindset, then we can say that about everybody.
Yeah.
Within friendships, I'm not in the limelight, if you will, but if I am putting myself out there within a friendship or a relationship, then if we're taking that same mindset of, well, celebrities should expect to be treated this way, okay, so our friendships should be expected to be treated this way. I'm sharing things with you. I'm opening up. I'm being honest and kind of being vulnerable with you about certain things. You get to see a different side of me. So my friends, I should expect my friends to gossip about me because do you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. No, I get it.
That is, that's the mindset that we have with celebrities.
Yeah. So we have a list here from the Preacher's Study blog on how to stop ourselves from gossiping. All right, so we got five things to help. Number 1 is educate yourself to the harm of gossip. like what we're talking about now. It can be extremely destructive and not even true.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, learn to be a listener. Listen much more than you speak. Don't succumb to the need to fill the conversation with the best story or newest whatever. So that's about changing how you react in conversation and in situation with friends.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be the, I got the best story. Did you hear this person?
Do you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, fine.
Do you know what I found the best tool for that is? Having a radio show.
Because you let it all out here.
Because I let it all out here, and I do all the talking here. And so, like, when I get home, you've said before we record Saturdays, do all the recording on one day. When I get home from recording, Chris is like, so what'd you guys talk about? I don't know. And that's
so much.
Like,
I'm done.
I'm just, I no longer can talk. All my brain cells for talking and communicating are done for the week until the following Saturday when I come back in here. So just have your own talk show of some sort, get a YouTube channel. Just don't go gossiping on that.
Yep. All right. Number 3, count to 10. It's a cliche to count to 10 before you say anything, but it really works. It forces you to think about what you're about to say and what kind of damage can be done. So if you've got a story that you're dying to get off your tip of your tongue, sit there, count to 10, reevaluate yourself and what you're about to do before you make a mistake.
That doesn't mean go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Here we go. Did you hear what Bill did? All right. Number 4, be aware of when and where you tend to gossip and avoid or prepare for those situations. Mm-hmm. That's just about planning. And number 5, lastly, get an accountability partner if you need extra help. Someone who you give permission to rebuke you when you are slipping up. And this is certainly something that you can go to Celebrate Recovery for. If you have a, for lack of a better term, addiction to gossiping, this could be very beneficial for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially an accountability partner. Accountability partners, people that will stab you in the face, not the back.
True story. But only because they love you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Love true friends stab you in the face.
Yeah.
So you agree with all those?
I do.
Makes sense?
100%.
Right. So while we're working on ourselves, what are some ways we think we could discourage gossip in our churches?
Some ways to discourage gossip?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So we're going to cut out all the women's ministry.
No more prayer services where we speak prayers aloud.
Right. No more ladies' fellowship nights. No more ladies' lunches.
No more ladies' bathrooms with more than one toilet.
Exactly.
You have to lock the door one person at a time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, these are just, they're just all opening up doors for us to fall short of the glory. And so it's just like that Bible verse where if your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off. We got to be desperate about this. Exactly. So yeah. if you see a group of ladies conversing, go insert yourself in that conversation so that they'll make
for the glory of God.
For the glory of God.
Excuse me, ladies.
Yep.
What are we talking about here? Stop it.
Exactly. If it's not about how to make a sandwich properly or how
Oh my God. All right, just so you know, Mo started all those jokes.